So let's select our drink listener, Command N, a new Swift file basket listener. And I'm importing my Firebase here because we are going to need that. And let's create a new class, which is called basket listener. And again, like we did with our drink listener, we are going to conform to observable object protocol. And here we are going to publish our order basket. So say add published var order basket of type order basket. In our initializer, I'm going to call a function download basket, which doesn't exist yet, but we are going to just create it now. So in our download basket function, what we are going to do is we're going to access our Firebase reference. And we need our basket. Then we need to check where field. So we need to filter our baskets because we're going to have multiple baskets. Every user is going to have his own, but we want to receive only the basket where the owner ID, so that field k owner ID, we need the one is equal to. So we say field k owner ID is equal to, and here we are going to pass our current user ID, which, as you know, doesn't exist. So we put 123 because this is the fake user ID that we are using for our current logged in user. And then we want to keep listening for any changes to our Firebase, because as you remember from our last lecture, we're running the app for first time. I click on the button here, it created a basket, and we want to straight away be notified that the basket was created. So when I click on a second time, it's not going to create another basket. So that's why we're going to say add snapshot listener, and here we are going to have a snapshot and an error. Okay, first we are going to say guard let snapshot equals snapshot, else we want to return and then I'm going to check if the snapshot is empty or no. And then we say if it's not empty, we are going to get our basket. So since there is only one basket with a specific ID that belongs to our user, and this snapshot can bring multiple documents, which obviously doesn't exist, it's just an array that we are getting back. So we know that if it's there, it's going to be only one. So I'm going to say let basket data is equals, and I access my snapshot documents, which is an array, and I'm going to get the first item of it. And I can unwrap this because we just checked that the snapshot is there and snapshot is not empty. So for sure we have at least one item inside of it. So we force unwrap this and then get the data, which is our key value pairs. Once we have our basket data, we need a function to get the drinks of our basket. Remember that when we save it, we saved only the IDs of the drinks. But when we want to create an order basket, we want it to have drinks itself inside. So now we are going to use that same IDs and grab them from our Firebase. So we're going to download them from our Firebase and put them in our basket. To do that, we are going to create a separate helper function just outside of our class curly braces. So once all the curly braces finished, we are going to say func get drinks from Firestore, and we need the drinks with specific IDs. So we say with IDs, and this is going to be an array of string, because remember our basket item has this array of strings inside of it, which is drink IDs. So we pass this array of strings here, and since it's going to take some time for each drink to be downloaded from our Firebase, we are going to use some callback function. So whenever AC is done, the function will have a callback and notify our download basket function that all the items of the basket were downloaded, and here is the ready order basket, and we will pass it to our variable, which in case will provide it to any other view that is listening for this published variable. So I'm going to say completion, at escaping, and we're going to return a drink array, which is array of drink items, and this shouldn't return anything. Okay, so what we need for this function to work: first we need to keep track of how many items actually we received, how many IDs, so we know how many items we need to download. So we say var count is equals to 0. So we need to keep a track of how many items we have downloaded to know when we are going to call our completion. Then I need a variable of drink array, and this is going to be the array of our drink items, and it's going to be an empty. So whenever we download some drink from our Firebase, we are going to put in this array, and once we have downloaded all of them, we are going to pass this drink array to our function there. What we need here is just a safety: if with IDs dot count is equals to 0, if there are no items with IDs, we just want to say completion, and I'm going to pass my drink array and return. So we don't want to continue if there is no items passed in with IDs. And if, however, we have some kind of IDs there, some drinks we need to download, I'm going to call my Firebase reference, and we need to access our menu in order to download these items. And remember, the drinks are in our menu part. Again, here we are going to say where field, and here we have is equal to. So we are checking if the ID is equal to, and here we are going to pass our drink ID. But how we get a specific ID here, because we have an array of IDs, we're going to use a for loop. So we say for drink ID in with IDs, and then we can cut this code and paste it here and say drink ID here. So every time we find an item in our menu where ID matches to the specific drink ID, we want to grab this. So we say get document and then we need the completion handler. So I'm clicking enter, and this is going to be a snapshot and error. So once we have grabbed this item, first we want to check if it actually exists. And then we want to check if it's not empty. So if it's not empty, we are going to create a string object. And then else, if the snapshot is empty, I'm going to say print, just for my information, have no string, and we call our completion handler and pass my string array here. Okay, once we have done this, and every time we do, we want to check how many items we have downloaded. So we say if count is equals to with IDs.count, it means we have downloaded all the items that we were requested. So the count here is equals to the number of items we had to download. Then we want to call our completion and pass our string array. Okay, and what we need to do now is to write the part here in case we have a snapshot. So we have our string object. We want to take that, create a string, and add it to our string array. So let's do that. We say let string data is equals to our snapshot dot documents, and remember this is an array of query snapshot documents, and since the ID of our menu items are unique, there can be only one menu item under specific ID. So if we have a match, we can get the first item. And once we have this string data, I'm going to access, so there are two ways of doing it. Actually the way is one, just two ways of writing it. First is long one. We can say let string equals to string, and then we create one, and once we create it, we add it to our string array. And the second one is we just do it all in one line. We say string array append, and here we are going to create a string and add it straight to our array. So the ID is going to be string data KID, and we need to specify that this is as string, and the default value, if for some reason it's not set, we are going to create a unique ID and put the string there. The name is, let me just put this on a different line. The name is going to be string data k name as string. If it's nil, we are going to put unknown. Image name again is going to be our string data k image name as string, or is going to be unknown as well. The category here, as you remember, we're going to create a category with a row value, and then we say string data k category, and this is as string or let's put it again cold. Description is going to be drink data k description as string, or if it's doesn't exist, say description is missing. And finally the price is drink data dot actually k price as double, or is going to be 0. So this way we create a drink and add it to our array, and what we need to do is to say count plus equals 1. So it means that we just added one item to our array, and once the count is equals to the number of items in our initial array, we're going to return it.